The following program, Live and Learn, is made possible by Aging Partners. Find out more on their website at agingpartners@lincoln.ne.gov.
I'm Kristen Stows. Please join my conversation with Ruth Davidson Hahn and find out why the Dance for Parkinson's program is as much about smiles and joy as it is about dance.
I'm Tom White, and May is Older Americans Month, and I'll be speaking today with Zoe Olson from Aging Partners. And Zoe will fill us in on all the great events and fun events that are coming up in Older Americans Month.
I'm Harlan Johnson, and my guest on the Live and Learn show today is Tammy Ward, the new Executive Director of the Senior Foundation.
My name is Chris Beckenbaugh. My guest will be physical therapist Brent Bedner. We're going to talk about how best to work with a physical therapist.
This and more on today's Live and Learn.
When you dance, it's not your purpose to get to a certain place on the floor. It's to enjoy each step along the way. A quote by Dr. Wayne Dyer. I'm Kristen Stows, and my guest teaches Dance for Parkinson's. This is one of her favorite quotations. I welcome Ruth Davidson Hahn, President and Artistic Director of Ruth Davidson Hahn and Company, a nonprofit organization based in the arts. Welcome, Ruth.
Thank you, Kristen.
Wonderful to have you here. Could you please tell us a little bit about your own background?
Yes.
Good.
Dance is pure joy. And I've had a life dedicated to dance, and dance has been in my life for a very long time. I was born and grew up in New York City.
Fabulous.
Where I lived my dream career as a professional modern dancer and then choreographer.
Oh my goodness.
I met my husband in New York, who is from Nebraska, and we wed in the year 2000. I relocated here. I founded Ruth Davidson Hahn and Company in 2002. The company has performed throughout the state of Nebraska and now presents this new outreach program, Dance for Parkinson's.
And how is it that you became interested in the Dance for Parkinson's program?
Well, the national and now international Dance for PD program started in 2001 at the Mark Morris Dance Center in New York City. As a founding member and 21-year veteran dancer of the Mark Morris Dance Group, of course I followed the program's progression. When I saw a bulletin board here in Lincoln, Nebraska on Cornhusker Highway that stated, Nebraska has the highest Parkinson's disease per capita in the world, a light went off in my head. I should bring this program to Lincoln.
Perfect.
And here we are.
That's right, that's right. This is the perfect place to have this program, I agree. At the heart of your class is movement. What does movement do for your class participants who are fighting Parkinson's disease?
There is no cure for Parkinson's disease. There are medications that help control the symptoms. And now neurologists know that exercise also helps control the symptoms. More and more people with PD around the world recognize dance as an activity that addresses physical, emotional, and social needs very effectively.
Yes.
And does so in a fun and creative environment.
Yes, I would agree with that. Is your program as much about balance and posture and breathing as it is about dance and movement?
Well, yes, because it's a dance class. And dance connects mind to body. And everything that dancers train to do regarding balance, coordination, rhythm, aesthetic awareness, intent, breath, and flexibility address specific things that seem to go with Parkinson's disease. And so dance fits PD like a glove without needing to think of itself as therapy.
It does, doesn't it? It really does. I agree.
Thank you.
The movements you use in your dances are truly ones that participants use in their everyday life. You're bending, you're stretching, you're reaching. Do you create these dance sequences with those specific movements in mind?
No, not really.
Not really. Okay.
Not really. Dance in itself calls on doing these movements. And all movements in the warm-up, and in the combinations of movement that you do in a dance class.
Okay, all right. I enjoyed very much watching your dance the other day when I visited your class. They're very creative.
Thank you.
I love
Thank
it.
you.
I love them. So what is it about the mind-body connection? How does this class help that cognitive component for your students?
Well, there is a new scientific study that has been done on senior citizens and dancing, which I can use as an example of what they found, how it absolutely does help the cognitive component. It's published in the New England Journal of Medicine, and it states that dancing increases mental capacity by exercising the cognitive processes.
Oh, wow.
And also that the dynamic and rapid fire decision making that one does in dance creates new neural paths. So I found this to be quite exciting, as you can imagine.
It's very exciting.
And what I know is that through dance, one is asked to be creative, problem solve, the memory is challenged, it's mathematic. We do fun brain teasers, like doing a movement phrase forward and then backward. And in choreography, this is called retrograde.
Okay.
Or we may do an accumulation of movements and then a deaccumulation.
Oh.
And a simple example of an accumulation is where you take a movement and you add on, is like 1, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3.
Okay.
And then deaccumulation, 3, 2, 1, 2, 1, 1. And we would, in that nature.
Yes,
and sometimes they involve people to create their own moves, and we create it with them anyway.
Wow, wow.
And then eyes, ears, and touch, our senses, are tools that assist with balance and movement and attaining awareness of our body and space. So our cognitive processes are expanded through
well,
dance.
dancing is definitely good for the mind. I love
you.
that part of it, definitely. At this time, I'd like to play a sound clip of my conversation with 3 of your students, Wanda Milton, Jim Carr, and Hallie Bowman, on their feelings about their participation in this class. What does the music, I hear a lot of music during the class. What does the music do for you during your movements?
Well, it sets the tone for the rhythm of the movement, and it's delightful to hear. She's chosen really nice music.
Yes.
And but it's especially chosen to fit the movement that she wants to do.
And she also tells a lot of stories.
Yeah, yeah, she does. She makes you understand what she wants you to do with the music too. The beats and keeping the beat and the movements.
And Hallie, you are a dance student at the university. What do you hope to gain from this experience in your training?
Well, I want to dance professionally after college for a couple of years, but after that I want to go back to school and get my master's in dance movement therapy. So this is a stepping stone along the way.
Good, good. That's wonderful. Do you feel that this kind of a class encourages you? Does it give you more confidence to do more things outside of the class than maybe you might try otherwise?
It does for me. You know, it makes me feel like I'm still part of the earth, or the the crowd and everything, that gives me more confidence to get out and still do my daily tasks like I used to do.
Does it give your spirits a lift just to be here?
Yes, it does. No question about it. We do so many movements that help to lead us to using stairwells instead of elevators and walking instead of driving a car.
So, Ruth, these students are talking about gaining confidence and just experiencing such joy by being in your class. That must make you feel awfully good.
Yes, it does. As I said, dance is pure joy, and if I am able to help them find that,
Yes.
and then the confidence people with Parkinson's
You
really
obviously
appreciate
are.
that.
You obviously are. Is this class appropriate for other neurological diseases, or is it limited to Parkinson's patients?
The program is specific to the Parkinson's population. And the focus of the training is Parkinson's disease.
Okay.
However, people with all neurological challenges may benefit from dance. I have 2 women with MS who attend and love the class.
Oh,
but once
wonderful.
again, the expertise and focal point are Parkinson's and may not necessarily transfer to other neurological diseases.
Sure, sure. And are caregivers, spouses, support people welcome to attend your class along with a participant?
Oh, yes. This is part of the building of the community that we have, and caregivers, spouses, and partners are welcome free.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
That's wonderful. What encouragement could you give to someone listening who might be interested in this, but they're a little tentative, they feel like they might not be able to handle the movements?
Participants are encouraged to move at whatever amplitude is comfortable for them. What is important is to be moving with the music, to the music, within the musical phrasing. And this allows the rhythmic element to take over and assist the movement. And dance is used to help PD participants regain grace, confidence, and meaningful engaged connections to caregivers, spouses, family, and each other. So when you have PD, discovering these qualities again is a very empowering achievement. Everyone is also encouraged to participate, knowing they are not being judged, analyzed, measured, evaluated as people or patients.
Right.
That sense of escape, of remodeling one's identity as a dancer in a dance studio rather than as a patient, is an enormous benefit.
Yes.
No dance experience is required. All mobilities are welcome. One may also remain seated if they choose throughout or need, and are still encouraged to participate with modified versions of what we do standing.
That's wonderful.
Because they stay involved and they still receive the benefits of dancing and in dancing in a group.
Okay. And when I visited, I noticed there really is a wide age range. You have both men and women. You have them standing and sitting as the needs are being met.
Yes, yes. We incorporate everyone into the class, and it does have a few different generations.
It's very all-inclusive. I like that.
Yes.
I love music, and you must put great thought into the music you choose for this class. What is the importance of the music to the feeling of the class as well as to the movements?
Music plays a critical role in dance training, and many participants of the program comment on how dancing to music helps them achieve a state of fluidity and mobility that they may not attain in other movement forms.
I see.
And in addition, music enriches, energizes, and empowers movement.
Yes, yes, it does. It does. I totally agree with that. One thing I heard that I wasn't expecting was storytelling. And you incorporate wonderful stories into this class. What does that component bring?
When you do dance that tells a story, as in dance theater, it sparks the aesthetic imagination to inform the movement and the intent. You are creating a role. All these components bring an attachment to the movement that may add grace or strength or other qualities that are asked for. So now there is aesthetic awareness. This in itself is mentally stimulating and enlivening. Once again, making a mind, body, and spirit connection.
Okay.
All people respond to this, and people with Parkinson's respond excellently because their minds are sharp. And this helps them access movement in a different way, ways we may take for granted. Participants have commented that this storytelling, again, along with the music, helps to free them with their movement more easily than they may find with other movement forms.
It definitely does that. I could notice that when I was there. I love that part of it as well.
Thank you.
One of your class participants, Kay Reed, expressed so much enthusiasm about your class. Let's listen to that segment now. I'm here talking with members of the wonderful dance class that we have been seeing video clips of, and I'm going to be speaking with Kay Reed, who is a participant, and April Eden, yes, who is Kay's support person, and I would like to have the other three members introduce themselves, please.
Jerry Kirkhoff, Carol Glancy,
Paul Glancy.
Nice to meet all of you, and thank you so much for staying. Kay, what has been the major benefit of this class to you?
I can't say enough, because it makes you walk better. And the most important thing I've gotten from this is I can think better and coordinate what I'm doing, because that's the hardest thing to do with Parkinson's, is to get things going together. And I don't know what I'd do without this class. I really don't. I love it.
And this is the second time through for you, right?
Yeah, and these people I'm with, I love them.
You can tell that. There's a lot of support
we
and camaraderie.
Okay.
So that mind-body connection is really foremost in this. And I think we tend to forget that. We only look at the physical, but it's definitely the mind-body connection.
And it makes me walk better. I just, no.
So you really look forward to coming to this every week, I take it.
Oh, yeah. Every day, every Wednesday, I wait.
Oh, that's wonderful. Well, I noticed that Ruth plays beautiful music. Does that really assist you in your movements as well?
Oh, yes. Because we know it helps you move at the right time, you know.
And it's very uplifting just to listen to it. It instills a lot of confidence, I'm guessing, not only in class, but outside of class. Do you try things now that maybe you wouldn't have without this class participation?
Like walk without my cane. I do that all the time. Everybody says, hey, get your cane. Where are you going?
I love it. April, you are Kay's support person, and you're with her inside and outside of class.
Yes.
What benefits have you noticed that Kay has gleaned from
Just the cognitive skills, problem solving, which foot to use, which foot not to use. Last class or last season, she really used cognitive skills a lot better by the end of the class and stuff. Her thinking became better, problem solving. It really helped her in a lot of ways. And by the end of the class, from just these guys, since the last class, these two, we didn't have her last class. We had her like in Thursday's class. Now it's all on Wednesday. But you could see just their skills improve and get better. Their hand-eye coordination, movements, and everything. They benefit a lot from this class.
So it really affects all areas of your life.
Yes, not just the fine skills, you know, out and in, but you're getting those joints moving. Because if you just sit there, you're going to lose it.
Sure.
And I've been doing this for 25 years since high school. If you don't keep those joints moving, yeah, it's a downfall.
Stay active.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's a big one. Kay, this is honestly quite a workout. Do you feel like you've really done quite a bit by the end?
And I can sleep so much better at night. Can you guys sleep better?
Yeah, and that's a huge part of Parkinson's as well, isn't it? Sleep disturbances. So get up and get active. So tell me about the circle at the end. I love that. Does that make
just get together and, you know, we've been together and we feel together and we're together.
I see a lot of smiles, high fives. It's a wonderful feeling. It's a wonderful ending to the class, and I think I will bring this little talk to an end with that as well. So, Kay, thank you so much.
Well,
thank you to all of you. Thank you.
Ruth, Kay, and her support person were talking about the positive changes that has occurred in Kay since the beginning of your class. You must see this all the time in your participants.
Well, that's very interesting because, as I said before, the program has been around now almost 15 years. And when I did the training, I heard those things from participants in New York who've been doing the program. So to start, and Kay is only in her second season, to see and to hear her response and that she is, what she is getting out of it and how much it's helping her. And of course, the dance is pure joy, but the connection and how it like I said, how it helps is so rewarding.
Yes, yes. Oh, I can imagine what it feels like to hear those comments. I think it certainly is a wonderful pat on the back to you, Ruth.
Well,
You're
thank
doing a
you.
fabulous job. We also talked in that clip about that final circle at the end of the class. How do you feel as you do that at the end of each of your classes, that final circle that brings everything to a close? It's emotional. I get emotional thinking about it.
I know. It is. At our circle at the end of the class, which is a part of the dance class etiquette, to have a reverence, that time or moment to give thanks for dancing together, always moves me in ways that words can't describe. Especially with these people, it's like their smile, the connection of their glances, just tells a story to me, and I think them to each other. And like I said, words can't describe, and which is why we dance.
Well, it's just wonderful to see them looking at each other, acknowledging you, congratulating each other. They're really celebrating that hour together.
Yes, they often respond, I can't believe an hour and a half has gone by so quickly.
Yes,
And, they just are sad it's over. They have so much fun. We have a lot of fun. And
well, that says it all. That says it all.
It does. It truly warms my heart.
Good, good. Well, Ruth, thank you so much for your dedication to the Parkinson's program. I wish to thank all of your participants who were willing to talk with me afterward, and certainly to you for being here today.
Thank you for having me.
Yes.
It was a pleasure.
Good. It's a pleasure for me too, Ruth. Thank you. We are now putting on screen the websites for you to find out more information about this program, both locally and nationally. The current issue of Living Well magazine also has an article on this topic. My 3-segment series on Parkinson's disease aired in November of 2012. I have updates from my 3 guests. Neurosurgeon Dr. Ben Gelber reports that he now has the Maser Renaissance robotic system, which can be used for implantation of deep brain stimulator electrodes. The increased accuracy of the robot may also permit him to do this electrode implantation under general anesthesia, rather than requiring the patient to be awake. It would also allow the implantation of the pulse generator during the same operation, rather than a separate procedure. Dr. Alan Nissen, who was diagnosed with Parkinson's disease in January of 2011, has been enrolled in the Parkinson Rehab Program, LSVT-BIG. This physical therapy works on balance and strength during 4 one-hour sessions each week, with additional work at home. As Parkinson's disease causes movements to become smaller, this therapy works on keeping movements big. He feels this program has been beneficial. A new program he has recently started is the Voice Rehab Program, LSVT Loud. Alan hopes this therapy will help the quality and strength of his voice, as they have a wonderful success rate of 70 to 80% improvement. Alan's advice: it is important to keep mobile and working out. The more you work, the better your life quality is. Neurologist Dr. John Puente sees dance and physical movement classes such as the LSVT-BIG program and the Dance for Parkinson's program as the newest phase of treatment options for Parkinson's patients. These physical therapies are truly making a difference in patients' lives. I wish to thank Dr. Gelber, Dr. Nissen, and Dr. Puente for their input, and I wish to thank all of you who continue to live and learn about Parkinson's disease.
Hi, I'm Tom White, and my guest today is Zoe Olson from Aging Partners. Good morning.
Good morning.
Although it may be evening.
It may be evening.
All right. can you tell me something about Older Americans Month?
I'd be delighted to. In 1965, the Older Americans Act was passed by Congress, and that was to provide services, social services, for adults who were age 60 and older. And since 1980, every president has signed a proclamation, if you will, declaring May is Older Americans Month. And so this year, we're doing Older Americans Month, celebration of the 50th anniversary of the passage of the Older Americans Act. And our logo for this year is Get In on the Act.
Oh, I like it.
I do too. Yeah. It's fun.
So can you tell me what are some of the fun events that are going to be coming up for Older Americans?
Oh, we're busy, busy, busy. We're starting off throughout the month of May. Here on Live and Learn, we'll be having Lincoln Seniors Got Talent. We'll be showing that on every viewing. And we're going to actually tape that show on Friday, April 17th at Bethany Christian Church at 1645 North Cotner Boulevard. And people are signing up their acts. This is the 3rd year we've done this. You're going to be one of our acts, I believe.
I am.
I think you did sign up. Yeah, don't be so surprised. And yeah, and so it's a great way for people in Lincoln to showcase their talent. We have an accordion player, we have singers, we have dancers, we have choruses so far signed up, and so, you know.
It was so much fun last year.
It was fun. And so we're getting to be that's our annual event now on Live and Learn. So that's our first thing. Then on May 2nd, the Boy Scout troops here in Lincoln, 2 of them, are going to have a Senior Technology Day at our Northeast Senior Center, and that's on a Saturday from 8 to 4. And people can bring in their laptops, their tablets, their cell phones. We'll have wireless internet available so that they can teach seniors or answer questions for seniors about, you know, how do I get on Facebook, or how do I add numbers to my cell phone, or how can I do this, or how can I do that?
How can I remember my passwords?
Those,
Awesome.
you know, these, and we're figuring this is a kind of a joint process and project. The Boy Scouts are going to be earning their technology badges for helping seniors.
That's great.
Seniors get the benefit of learning, and the gentleman who is organizing this is doing it for a class graduate project at University of Nebraska-Kearney. So we're just kind of making this all work together. People can stay for lunch. If they let us know 2 days in advance if they'd like a lunch reservation, they can have lunch. And we do ask that if they want a specific time during that 8 to 4 period, that they send an email to Chris Gainforth about that information, and his email address is Senior Tech Day at chrisguy, KRISGUY.com. And so if they want a specific time, the appointments will probably last one-on-one counseling about 30 minutes. So that gets us through that first week of May, or the first 2 days of May maybe. And then on May 13th, we're doing a day trip tour to the York Wessels Farm Adventure in York. So people can go back in time and see what it was like to live on a working farm in the 1800s.
Oh, that sounds interesting.
And there's more information available in both our Living Well magazine, in the Senior Center, My Center newsletters, and also on our website. So any of those places will give information, or you can call 402-441-7158 and get information, or to make your reservations. Then on the next day, May 14th, we're having Dinner and a Show. Dinner and a Show is a great event that we do throughout the summer months, and we have dinner, as it says, and then entertainment for a very reasonable cost, around $10. And you can also get transportation to and from the Senior Center, or to the Cotner Center condominiums. And this is on a Thursday evening once a month, each month. And I believe in September, is it that you're going to be the show?
Might be either August or September.
I think it's
believe.
September.
Yeah.
But so Dinner and a Show, and this is going to feature in May, we're going to feature I Love a Beautiful Song with Michael Lyon is going to be the entertainment. So people can also sign up for that by calling that 402-441-7158 number. Then on May 15th, which is the next day on Friday, we're having our 3rd annual Age Strong, Live Long, Walk On.
That was also so much fun last year.
Yeah, this is the third year we've done it. The first year we had a little over 200 people. Last year, almost 300. So we're looking to increase those numbers this year again. We have lots of great sponsors that you can see on the screen, and they're helping support us. Any senior who signs up by April 15th will get a free shirt at the walk that commemorates that walk, and that's provided by our sponsors. All seniors who walk will get a bag as long as we have them, and that will list all our sponsors on it. And it's a reusable bag they can take to the grocery store. It folds up into a little pouch so they can put it in their purse or their pocket, and they always have a bag with them. And that's on May 15th at the Union College campus. They're wonderful hosts to us.
And beautiful campus.
It's a beautiful campus, and so far we've had great weather. Last year was a little cold when we started, but it was great walking weather. So we're expecting great weather again this year. But you do need to sign up by April 15th, and you do that by, you can get a form on our website, or at any of the senior centers in Lincoln, or at any of the sponsors' locations, or you can call me, and my number is 402-441-6156, and we'll get you registered. But April 15th is the deadline to get the free shirt, but if you don't make the free shirt deadline, you can still come and sign up that day and walk with us. It's a fun event.
Yeah, it was last year.
Yes,
Sure it will be this year.
We'll probably have Tai Chi and yoga demonstrations again, and probably line dancing. It'll just be a fun, fun time. And then that evening, we've got That's Amore. So at the Downtown Senior Center at 10th and O Streets, you can sign up 2 days in advance, tell us you're coming for dinner, and from 5 to 7 p.m., we'll be having Italian food and Italian music. And that's going to, Johnny Ray Gomez is going to be our entertainer, and he's going to be doing music from Frank Sinatra, Tony Bennett, Dean Martin, all the greats, Perry Como, Al Martino. My mother loved Al Martino. So it'll be an evening of Italian food and Italian music, and that's from 5 to 7 on the 15th. And that gets us to the next week. The next week, we're doing Melodrama Madness. And you start out with dinner at the Northeast Center again, and then go to the Eugene T. Mahoney State Park for a melodrama, where you can, boo the villain, cheer for the hero, throw popcorn, whatever you want. It's a great evening. Again, more information is always available on our website, in Living Well Magazine, in the My Center News, or you can call 402-441-7158, and that gives you information about that event, and you can sign up for it. Then on May 20th, which is a Wednesday, we're doing our 3rd annual Dine Out for Seniors event. And all the restaurants that are participating in this will be listed on the screen. And these restaurants have agreed to donate a percentage of their profits that day to support our senior center's work. And so, yeah, it's wonderful. It's a great way you can eat all day, help fund the senior center's activities.
You could have breakfast, lunch, and dinner at 3 different restaurants.
Absolutely could. Or all the same restaurant, we're wherever you like to eat, we're good with that. And just we'd like you to say thanks for supporting our senior centers when you do dine there, so they know that we really do appreciate all that they're doing to help us. Then on the 21st, on the 20th, I have to keep this all in line because we have a lot of activities. On May 20th, the Coalition of Older Adult Health Promotion is sponsoring the 3rd annual Be a Fan of Seniors donation drive. So this is the 3rd year they've done this for us. And it's great. They have a drive. This one's going to be at the Piedmont Shopping Center at 1265 South Cotner, and it's going to be from 3 to 5 p.m. that day. So, go out to breakfast, go out to lunch, then drop off a fan or some personal care items for seniors. And then they give them to us, and we distribute them throughout Lincoln and our 8-county service area. Fans to keep people cool in the summertime. As we age, our bodies don't regulate heat and cool as well. And some seniors won't turn on their air conditioning or may not have air conditioning. So these fans help keep us cool in the hot summers here. And so we're helping COHAP as we call them, do this. The coalition is wonderful. They do wonderful, wonderful things for seniors. And you can contact Larry Gattikin at Guardian Angels, and his number is 402-474-4000 if you need more information. May 21st is the Seniors Foundation Seniors Banquet, the Keystone Award Luncheon, and they'll have that at noon at the Lincoln Country Club, and you can contact the Seniors Foundation for that. On May 27th, a new event, Thrive. This is Aging Partners and the Lincoln Journal-Star doing this together. It's going to be an all-day event at the Innovation Campus. There will be learning sessions throughout the morning and the afternoon where people can learn about healthy living as we age. Vendors will be there to show different products and services they have. There will be a luncheon with a speaker talking about a specific topic for aging, and then in the evening we've got a keynote speaker. And more information will be coming on that, and you can stay tuned to either Aging Partners or Lincoln Journal-Star. And our last event that month is the next day. We have the All Center Picnic, and this has been going on for decades. And all the centers will be eating lunch at Antelope Park from 10 to 1. And Hillbilly Hal Cottrell will perform, so we've got music there. We're just busy, busy, busy in May.
Well, Zoe, thank you so much. My guest has been Zoe Olson from Aging Partners. I'm Tom White, and don't forget that it's never too late to live and learn.
What does Medicare cover? How can I afford to keep living in my home? When I need help with house and yard work, who can I turn to? Why am I so tired? Am I eating right? Should I exercise? Where can I go for answers to my questions about aging?
Aging Partners is the place to call when you have questions on aging. Our experts are here to help you with unbiased answers for you or your loved ones. Aging Partners, we're only a phone call away.
Welcome back to Live and Learn. I'm Harlan Johnson. You know, we're on the threshold of a lot of big things happening here in Lincoln, and one of the things that's going to happen is out in East Lincoln with the Veterans Hospital, and my guest today is going to be a part of that. Tammy Ward is the new executive director of the Senior Foundation. Senior Foundation will be taking over that and leasing that particular property. And so, Tammy, welcome to the Live and Learn show.
Thank you, Harlan. It's
all right.
Really great to be
now,
here.
When I heard that you were going to be the new exec, I was really pleased because you've got a great resume. You come from government. You've been there, state government and more. You've been with the volunteer section of the community. You've done fundraising. Tell us a little bit about your background. Where you've been, what you've done.
Sure. Well, I grew up, on a personal note, on a farm near Geneva, Nebraska, in southeast Nebraska. And then once I finished school, I stayed in Lincoln and started my career in public service almost right away, Harlan. So I spent almost 20 years totally in government, most of those with United States Senator Ben Nelson. And I worked for him when he was senator and former governor. And I ran his Lincoln office here in Lincoln and worked with a number of constituents then, special needs, special populations. And so after about almost 20 years, Senator Nelson retired, and I went to work for Tabitha the last 2 years. So I transferred some of those skills from constituent work, fundraising, over to Tabitha, which was a great, great place to be. Again, got to work with senior populations and other populations that I care a lot about. Raised money at Tabitha, not only for elders that resided there, but also in Crete, Nebraska, where Tabitha had a couple projects. So I was fortunate to be on the campaign fundraising trail and then also at Tabitha Foundation raising money. So that's a quick run through.
Yeah, and you laid the foundation for that job in Crete for those houses, and that's now developing thereon. Well, now, what attracted you to the position of executive for the Senior Foundation?
Well, to be honest, when I heard about the job, I thought it was a great way to bring together my skill set, my passion, and certainly with the Veterans Project coming to town and on the campus that the Seniors Foundation had been awarded, I thought what a great opportunity and what a great fit this might be. And I could contribute some of the skills I'd used before and connect with some of my former business associates, constituents, advocacy groups that I've been really fortunate to work with over the years, bring them all together, and maybe it would be a great fit.
Well, now, all of these skills coming to the Senior Foundation. What are some of the things that right on the planning stage of events that are coming up?
For the Seniors Foundation.
Yes.
We have some fun things in the works. Our annual May 21st Keystone Award Lunch is coming up on the 21st. So that's our annual event where we make awards to outstanding seniors in the citizen, an award to someone who has passed away within the last 5 years. We have some great prizes lined up, as you know, and Rod Bates is our guest speaker. So that's our big annual event on May 21st. We're real excited about it. And then a week later, May 28th is Give to Lincoln Day. So we're real excited about that opportunity to engage with some of the community again and see if they have it in their hearts and in their pocketbooks to help contribute to the Seniors Foundation on Give to Lincoln Day, which is May 28th in Lincoln. And then in July, we have our board and the committee members are working hard to line up a pitch tournament on the campus, at the Veterans Campus, where our office is, by the way. And so we'll be in the auditorium that day on Sunday, the 13th. I think it starts at 2. More details will come, and I believe it is 13-point pitch. So I'm going to have to brush up on my card game before then, certainly.
And it's going to be right there in the auditorium in the
Yes,
in the
it
in the Vets Hospital Foundation.
Yep,
okay,
that's right.
Good.
That's
All
right.
Now, there was a nice article in the paper. Happened to have a copy here when you were hired. It shed some of the light on the plans for the Vets Hospital. Tell us a little bit about what's on the horizon here.
Well, we're very excited at the Seniors Foundation, and as our stakeholders, our partners, and the great teams that have been put together to work on this big project, because it will include, first of all, a new clinic, a new and improved clinic, which we think will improve services to veterans and be available now for seniors on the campus. But certainly the clinic is not going away, it's only getting better. And we're also going to include housing as part of the new development for seniors and for veterans. And there'll be retail activities, there'll be two other clinics perhaps. So we're really, really excited about the whole scheme of the plan. The other thing we're really excited about is the one campus concept. This is the first model in the country where veterans and seniors can all be served on the same campus. And we hope that this becomes the model for other like organizations across the United States, and that we can model how well this will work. So that's one of our goals too.
We've been working on this for 4 years. I serve on that board of directors, and it's finally going to happen, and that's kind of exciting. And this is the first time that the federal government has partnered with a nonprofit organization to come up with a project like this. So this is great. Now, one of the things, I'm going to put us on the line for some date. We need to be under construction for is it the fourplexes?
It's the VASH housing on campus, which is for veterans.
That needs to be underway by the 1st of October this year.
That's right.
So we're just around the corner.
Yeah, we are, and we're pedaling fast. We're pedaling fast with HUD, who's going to provide some of that funding for that particular housing when we break ground. And all the partners, we're working, as you know, Harlan, as a board member, closely with the preservation officers at the city, and the city of Lincoln, of course, and our state and local preservation teams to make sure we meet all those requirements as best we can at this stage and not have to do it later. And then the great thing about this particular housing that's going up in October is it provides veterans housing who are sometimes at-risk veterans who may need a home. And so it's a real special needs population that we're really honored and excited to start off with. So the other construction will hopefully follow after October.
And then, of course, as a part of that, the whole Aging Partners will be moving their operation out there, their fitness program, and their so that'll all be on one site for them as well.
That's right.
Yes. Now, the retail that you talk about, we're talking about what? Pharmacies, special needs equipment?
Correct.
That
Correct.
sort of thing?
Yes, right.
That
Those sort of
things,
things.
yes. And the long-range planning, maybe some office for doctors?
Right. That's right.
There? Okay. Now, historic preservation, I know there's a lot of hoops to jump through on this. And historic preservation is one of the things that, no, you can't cut that tree down, and no, you can't change the image of this. And there's a lot to do with the city here. There's a lot of cooperation here.
That's right. That's right. And we've been meeting with Ed Zimmer at the local level, of course, and with city staff from the mayor's office and urban development, of course, and had nothing but great support and help, a lot of guidance, so that we don't misstep and make sure we're doing all the right things, because we want to make it work the first time.
Now, I hear from veterans, you know, what's going on out there, and I'm here to say that it's nothing but good. And it's going to be, you're going to really be pleased with the development. It isn't that we're taking anything away, it's just that this is an opportunity. One of the biggest things that's happened in Lincoln probably for a long time. So
that's right.
You're at the helm of this, so it's on your broad shoulders, Tammy. So good. Well, you've got the moxie to be able to handle this, and working with the board and working with the city and government officials. As I said a while ago, there's a lot of hoops to jump through on this, and so I know that the board will be there behind you to help you, and we'll come up with this right. Okay. Hey, Tammy, thank you very much for coming and being on the Live and Learn Show, talking about this, because we've been talking about it for a long time, and now something's going to happen. You're going to make it happen, huh?
Well, all of you that have done all the work to this point get all the credit, but it's close.
All right. Well, thank you for being on the Live and Learn Show, and remember, it's never too late to live and to learn.
Hi, I'm Chris Beckenbaugh. My guest today is Brent Bednar, physical therapist. We're going to be talking about physical therapy before, during, and after treatment and surgery. Welcome, Brent.
Thanks for having me, Chris.
Absolutely, it's our pleasure. So Brent, tell us a little bit about your background and experience.
I've been a physical therapist for about 13 years now. I went to the University of Nebraska Medical Center for PT school, and then the UNL for undergrad in biology. So.
Okay. Well, we're glad to know that you got your training right here in Nebraska.
That's right.
And you have some letters after your name. PT stands for?
Physical therapist.
And then?
And OCS, which is an orthopedic certified specialist.
Okay. So physical therapists can see a number of different kinds of patients. What kind of patients do you focus on?
Typically, I see a lot of post-surgical patients, whether they've had total knee replacements, rotator cuff replacements, but we also see a lot of back pain, neck pain, shoulder pain, injuries from strains and sprains.
Okay, so when somebody's had an injury or surgery, they come to see you.
Correct.
And that first visit's going to look like what, Brent?
Typically, we'll look at restrictions that they have in range of motion, restrictions in or loss in strength. So if they've had an injury, they might have a loss of strength, or if something's really tight. If it's a back pain, we help manage their pain, teach them exercises, which is one of the primary things we do, because we want them to be able to learn how to treat themselves so that they can be healthy long term.
Okay, so that first appointment's going to be kind of an assessment, an evaluation.
Correct.
Of what they can do now and what you want them to be able to do.
Correct, and we make that treatment plan and then implement that going forward.
Okay, so let's say I go in and have a knee replacement, come in for that assessment, then how many weeks am I going to be coming to see you?
It depends. I mean, sometimes we'll see people for 2 to 3 months. Depends on how they achieve their goals. We want them to get the range of motion that they need to function. We want them to be able to walk without an assistive device, and we also want them to get the strength to do the things that they want to do, whether they're going to go back to work or if it's just back to recreational things they want to do.
Okay, and so how many times a week do you generally see patients?
Usually 2 to 3 times per week, and sometimes we'll taper that towards the end as they get more independent with their exercises, and then we work on specific things, like maybe it's they're a little bit of range of motion that they're struggling with at the end, or if it's just working on strength and progression of exercises.
Well, one of the things that I've learned recently is that sometimes you'll see people prior to surgery. Tell me a little bit about that. How does that work?
Sure. Sometimes if someone is going into surgery and they have restrictions in their range of motion or strength already before they go to surgery, it's really helpful to work on those deficits before they have surgery, so that way when they come out of their surgery, they have fewer deficits coming out of their surgery. So they're going to have pain and loss of movement and strength after their surgery, but it just really helps to get going on that before their surgery.
Okay, so you're going to do a little training before surgery so you're better ready to take on the impact of having a knee or an ankle worked on.
And they know what to expect after their surgery too. They kind of know exactly how that progression is going to look like in those exercises already. So.
Well, great. Okay, so sometimes you're going to see people pre-surgery, sometimes post-surgery, but sometimes it might be a disease progression that might bring someone to a physical therapist.
Right.
What sorts of diseases might you help someone with?
We've seen anything from multiple sclerosis, we see Parkinson's disease, we see any sort of progressive disease that people might have. Maybe it's just someone that's getting older or has had frequent falls, different things with medications that have had different causes. So we work a lot on balance and strengthening with different types of patients. Depends on what kind of deficits they have.
Okay, so balance and strength, I keep hearing those words.
Sure.
And range of motion, what does that really mean?
It's, if you have a shoulder joint that's tight, it doesn't move quite like you want it to, or maybe you notice that you just can't quite reach up to those heights that you want to. Maybe it's your knee that's tight when you sit down and you can't quite bend that knee. So we do a lot of stretching exercises to try to get that motion back in the knee to make it function like you want it to, and do the exercises or the activity that you want to be able to do.
And there are a lot of things people can do at home, right?
Absolutely. That's a big emphasis on physical therapy, is doing things at home.
So not necessarily coming into the clinic all the time, but being responsible to do it at home so that you continue to get better or maintain what you've gained.
Right. And then if you have a re-injury in the future, you know exactly what to do to treat yourself, hopefully, to those initial exercises that were helpful.
Okay. And sometimes there's going to be heat or ice involved.
Yep, we use different modalities like ice and heat. We use ultrasound and different things like that, especially when we're addressing pain. Those are different things that help pain, but the exercises are going to be our biggest emphasis.
Okay. I know that sometimes home falls can be a real challenge for folks. So we're going to take a look at some pictures here and how you might help somebody with an assistive device that might make them more safe and more stable when they're walking. We've got a picture of a cane here. How can a physical therapist help someone with a cane?
A lot of times we'll help people fit their cane or assistive device correctly, because having it fit correctly is a big part of having that help you as opposed to being a hindrance. So having a cane like that kind of at the small of your wrist, you want that cane just kind of just above and outside of your foot. So having it at that small of your wrist is the correct height. You'll see people with it too low, too high, and so it actually
what are some of the complications if you're not using that correctly?
If it's too low, you can actually lean forward too much and it can shift your balance. If it's too high, then you're actually having it up. It's not really helping you too much. It can push you, make your balance go off and be off balance that way too.
Okay. So if somebody's feels like they need to use an assistive device, maybe a prescription from their doctor to go see a physical therapist might be in order.
Right.
And then our next image I know is of a walker. How's that best used?
Similar fashion, whether you get a walker with wheels on the front of it, maybe it's a rolling walker where it has 4 different wheels on it. This walker is what you want to fit correctly with the small of your wrist, just like the cane. So that's really important. Typically, Medicare insurance will pay for assistive device, and so they'll either have one there to give you or at the hospital, or they'll have you go to a vendor like place in town to get it. Sometimes people will just bring their walker by and say, can you adjust this correctly? And so we're always glad to have you stop by and adjust that walker if you need to.
Kind of like getting your glasses adjusted, right?
Exactly.
You stop in and get that taken care of.
Exactly.
All right. We have some other home health assistive devices that we're going to take a look at. What are we looking at here, Brent?
If someone has a difficult time getting off the toilet, or if they have a lot of leg weakness, sometimes we'll make a recommendation for a toilet seat, a riser, or something with grab bars on that to help them get up. So if they feel unsteady when they first initially get up, that's a good modification for your home. It's not something that can be terribly expensive. Even if you get grab bars to put next to your toilet or by your shower, a lot of times that's really helpful to keep your balance and so you don't feel unsteady.
Good, and you don't have to drill holes in your porcelain tile to use one of those.
Exactly.
And then you mentioned the shower, and tubs and showers can be a very dangerous place.
Right.
So we've got a picture of a shower chair. How does that work?
Especially if you have a difficult time stepping over the shower. You know, if you have a shower that's got a large bathtub on the inside, a shower chair is nice because you can sit on the chair, can roll your legs over the top, and then just have a seat in the shower. Sometimes people just use that to get in and out of the shower. Sometimes they'll just do their whole shower because the shower is so slick on the inside, so that can be a big hazard as well.
And there again, not a significant expense.
Right.
And lots of options to purchase those everywhere from big box stores to home health.
Correct.
Home health
sometimes
stores.
your insurance will pay for those, so it's good to have your doctor even recommend those, and they could possibly pay for those depending on your insurance.
Excellent. That's great advice. So pre-surgery, post-surgery, during an illness, standard signs that we see of aging, all those ways, physical therapists, plus a home assessment. Do you do home assessments?
Typically we don't do home assessments. We'll have home physical therapists. That is their specialty, and they do a lot of their home assessments, but we do make recommendations such as just pulling up rugs and pets, different things like that can cause balance problems. So we make kind of general recommendations, but if you want a home assessment, a home physical therapist is a good place to start.
Great. All right. Well, Brent, it's been delightful to have you with us. You've shared some wonderful information. We want to thank you for your time.
Thanks for having me, Chris.
And remember, it's never too late to live and learn.